Hare Krishna. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन।
यमुनतीरवनचारी यमुनतीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा वृंदावन बिहारी राधा वृंदावन बिहारी राधे। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। गंगामई की यमुनामई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की। कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Book. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text number 66. Sarva-dharmān parityajya māmekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah. Sarva-dharmān parityajya māmekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah. Sarva-dharmān parityajya māmekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य
माम् एकं शरणं व्रज
मामेकं शरणं व्रज
अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः
Mataji. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज
अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो
बोर्ड में नहीं लिखा है
मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. The Lord has described various kinds of knowledge and processes of religion. Knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, knowledge of the Super Soul, knowledge of the different types or of orders and statuses of social life, knowledge of the renounced order of life, knowledge of non-attachment, sense and mind control, meditation, etc. He has described in so many ways different types of religion. Now, in summarizing Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that Arjuna should give up all the processes that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful reactions, for the Lord personally promises to protect him. In the 7th chapter, it was said that only one who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Thus, one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering to Sri Krishna, he is automatically freed. There is no need of strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. The process of surrender to Krishna is described in Hari Bhakti Vilas. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati iti vishvaso goptatvevaranam tatha atmanikshepa karpanye shadvidha sharanagati. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will lead ultimately to the devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order, but if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances, Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes freed from all contamination of material nature. There are different processes of religion and purificatory processes by cultivation of knowledge, meditation in the mystic yoga system, etc. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender unto Krishna will save him from unnecessarily wasting time. One can thus make all progress at once and be freed from all sinful reactions. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. This name is Krishna, but his name is Krishna, but because he is all attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all-powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. There are different kinds of transcendentalists. Some of them are attached to the impersonal Brahman vision. Some of them are attracted to the super soul features. But one who is attracted to the personal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and above all, one who is attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, is the most perfect transcendentalist. In other words, devotional service to Krishna in full consciousness is the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Karma yogis, empiric philosophers, mystics, and devotees are all transcendentalists, but one who is a pure devotee is the best of all. The particular words used here are ma shuchaha, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very significant. One may be perplexed as to how one can give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender to Krishna, but such worry is useless. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dhinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees on this auspicious occasion of Gita Jayanti on the banks of Radhakund with the blessings of Shri Giriraj. We are discussing the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita today, the ultimate essence of Bhagavad Gita, the final instruction of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, which is Sarva-dharmān parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Krishna is saying, after explaining to Arjuna so many topics, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Sattva Gun, Rajogun, Tamogun, Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Prakriti, Karma, 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita, 3 modes in Bhagavad Gita, 4 yogas in Bhagavad Gita, and all the opulences of Krishna in the 10th chapter, and also how to walk, how to talk, how to eat, how to give charity. It's a very elaborate discussion between Arjuna and Krishna. After all of that, Krishna is giving his final instruction. Sarva-dharmān parityajya. Give up all these dharmas. Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be a dharmic scripture, right? It is supposed to teach us dharma. And at the end of Bhagavad Gita, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Personality of Dharma, he is saying, give up all dharmas. In fact, Bhagavatam defines dharma in this way. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. What is dharma? Whatever Bhagavan says is dharma. Whatever is ordained by the Lord is dharma. If that is the definition of dharma, and here is Krishna who is saying, Sarva-dharmān parityajya. Give up all dharmas. And do what? Mamekam sharanam vraja. Take my shelter. Surrender unto me. So let's understand the meaning of the word dharma. Very important. If we understand the word dharma, then we will understand the ultimate instruction of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, which is Sarva-dharmān parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Sometimes people understand dharma as duty, which is correct. Sometimes dharma as a set of rules and regulations, policies and protocols, do's and don'ts, prescriptions and prohibitions given in some user manual or the policies of a company or an institution, and aligning oneself according to those policies is also dharma. There is varna dharma, there is ashrama dharma, there is kula dharma, there is jati dharma, as Arjuna says in the first chapter of Gita. Jati dharma, kula dharma. He also, Bhishma Dev speaks to Yudhishthira Maharaj in the first canto of Bhagavatam. There is Stri dharma, Raja dharma, Dana dharma. So many dharmas. Samanya dharma means dharma which you are supposed to follow in all circumstances. And there is apad dharma. Sadharana dharma is the duty that you are supposed to do in all circumstances. Apad dharma is dharma that you need to follow in emergency mode. There is samanya dharma, there is apad dharma, udyoga dharma, kutumba dharma. There is some commitment to the family members. There is commitment to the company that feeds you with salary every month. So all these are different types of dharmas. Krishna is saying Sarva-dharmān parityajya. So which of these dharmas is Krishna indicating? He said Sarva, means all of these dharmas. But let's understand the basic and ultimate definition of dharma. Yes, whatever dharmas that we have enumerated so far, they are all dharmas, no doubt. Varna dharma, ashrama dharma, Sri dharma, Dana dharma, Raja dharma, Kutumba dharma, Jati dharma, Kula dharma, Udyoga dharma, Samanya dharma, Sadharana dharma, Apad dharma. All these dharmas are great. But the word dharma is defined as the intrinsic characteristic of a thing or a living being. What is the natural, intrinsic, inseparable characteristic of an entity? That is real dharma. Water's dharma is to be wet. Did you ever touch dry water? And fire's dharma is to burn, to produce heat and light. Have you seen dark fire? Have you seen cool fire? Have you touched a fire that is like ice? If it is like that, then it's not fire. Simple. So the dharma of fire is to be hot, is to emanate some light, is to emanate some heat. The dharma of water is to be wet. The dharma of sugar is to be sweet. Have you tasted spicy sugar? Anytime? The dharma of mirchi is to burn your throat. Have you eaten sweet mirchi anytime? Sweet chili? So dharma is the inseparable, intrinsic, natural characteristic of a thing or a person. Let's come to living entities. Human beings. What is the natural, intrinsic characteristic of every single living being? Jivera swarupa hai Krishnera nitya das. That dasatva, that servitude, that service attitude is the real, intrinsic, natural characteristic of every single living being who is spiritual in nature. We are all spiritual beings, naturally. Our dharma is to operate on a spiritual platform, to render service to the supremely spiritual Lord, Krishna. That's our dharma. To love Krishna is the dharma of a soul. To serve Krishna is the dharma of every single living being, every single spirit soul. So, in the last shloka, which Krishna instructed in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva-dharmān parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, Krishna's emphasis is not on giving up all dharmas. His emphasis is on going up in dharma, not giving up dharma, but going up in dharma. There's a difference between giving up and going up. Giving up means you abandon all varieties of dharma, whatever dharmas we have enumerated. Not that you literally give them up, but you prioritize this ultimate dharma of taking shelter of Krishna. Mamekam sharanam vraja. The emphasis given on the second line is Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Take my shelter only. Mam means me, ekam means alone, only me. Sharanam vraja means take shelter, surrender unto me, take my shelter. So that is the ultimate instruction of Krishna. It's not that Krishna is instructing Arjuna only to give up all dharmas. He's saying, raise your standard of dharma. Don't just stick to this external varna dharma, ashrama dharma, kutumba dharma, samanya dharma, udyoga dharma. They keep changing also. Right? The dharma, for example, the dharma of students is to study. But when they become, say, job holders, or they become grown up, their dharma is to earn money, maintain their family. If they become teachers, their dharma is to teach. If they become doctors, their dharma is to treat patients. So some dharmas, samanya dharmas, they keep changing according to time, place, circumstances. But what is that eternal dharma, intrinsic characteristic of every single soul that never changes? Saveda dhatuh padavim parasya duranta viryasya rathanga panehi yo mayaya santataya nuvritya bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. Saveda dhatuh padavim parasya. Please understand the padavi, the glory of Krishna, the unsurpassable glory of Krishna. Duranta viryasya rathanga panehi. Thus that rathanga pani, that Lord who holds this chariot wheel in his hand, especially during the battle of Kurukshetra, while charging against Bhishma. So, the glories of that Supreme Lord cannot be understood without bhakti. Duranta viryasya rathanga panehi yo amayaya santataya anuvritya bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. Who can understand the unsurpassable glories of that rathanga pani Krishna? Three qualities are mentioned. Yo amayaya means without any reservations. Santataya, without any interruptions. Anuvritya, in a favorable mood, with a favorable intention. Bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham. One who renders service to the lotus feet of Krishna can understand the unsurpassable glories of the Lord. So, when Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva-dharmān parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, the emphasis is not on giving up dharma, but going up in dharma, raising the standard of dharma, and the highest standard of dharma is mamekam sharanam vraja. Taking shelter of Krishna, surrendering unto Krishna, and rendering service to him without any interruptions, without any motivations, without any reservations, with a favorable intent, is the highest standard of dharma. You come to this level. That is Krishna's emphasis at the end of Bhagavad Gita. And this conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is repeated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaji ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Savai pumsam paro dharma, the supreme dharma of all living beings is yato bhaktir adhokshaji, is to render bhakti, devotional service unto adhokshaja, Krishna. What is this adhokshaja? Aksha means I. Akshaja means that which is born out of eye. What is born out of eye? Tears? No, here akshaja means the understanding that is born out of seeing something. When my eyes come in contact with a object, then I get an understanding of that object. Therefore, it is called jnanendriya. You get some jnana by bringing this indriya in contact with its vishaya. When my eyes see something, I get some knowledge. When my ears hear something, I get some knowledge. When my tongue tastes something, I get some knowledge. When my hand touches something, I get some knowledge. These are all jnanendriyas, right? So we get jnana by bringing our indriyas, senses, in contact with sense objects. And that knowledge is called knowledge acquired from sense perception, akshaja knowledge. But adhokshaja means one who is beyond the perception of senses. You cannot understand this Lord by bringing your senses in contact with sense objects, right? So he is adhokshaja, beyond your sense perception. You cannot see the Lord through your senses, material senses. You cannot acquire an understanding or knowledge of the Lord by just bringing those senses in contact with sense objects. Adhokshaja. So yato bhaktir adhokshaja, you perform bhakti unto that Lord who is beyond your sense perception. Namo namah klesha vinashanaya nirupito dharaguna vayaya mano vacho vega purojavaya sarvakshamargairagatadhvani namaha. The Prachetas are offering this prayer. Namo namaha klesha vinashanaya. The Lord is known to destroy all our kleshas. Nirupita udara guna vayaya. It has been proved in the scriptures, in the universal spiritual history, that his names and his activities are extremely magnanimous. Next line is more important in our current context. Mano vacho vega purojavaya. The Lord is beyond the reach of our mind, reach of our words. We will not be able to understand the Lord with our mind. We cannot describe the Lord sufficiently with our words. Sarvakshamargairagatadhvane namaha. He is beyond the perception of all senses. Therefore, he is called adhokshaja. Why so much of description on the word adhokshaja? We are discussing that shloka. Sarva-dharmān parityajya māmek. No, we are discussing savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaja. Performing bhakti unto adhokshaja. So, adhokshaja means one who is beyond the reach of our senses. But when we engage those very senses in his service, we will be able to reach him. Forget reaching him, we will be able to conquer him. So, ataha Sri Krishna namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyahi. The indriyas do not have the power to understand the Lord. But sevan mukhehi jihvado. When we engage those very indriyas in the seva of the Lord, in the service of the Lord, swayameva spuratyada. The Lord will reveal himself to all of us. We will understand the Lord when the Lord reveals himself to us. Not by our own endeavors. Yes, our endeavor is to engage our senses in his service, and in reciprocation with that endeavor, Krishna will reveal himself. Right? So, Sarva-dharmān parityajya māmekam sharanam vraja means you give up, abandon all varieties of dharma, all the secondary dharmas, and take my shelter. Māmekam sharanam vraja. Taking shelter of Krishna means rendering service to Krishna. Surrendering to Krishna basically means rendering service to Krishna. And that service has to be ahituki apratihata, without any motivations and without any interruptions. If I have any selfish agendas, material motives in my service to Krishna, then I won't be able to understand Krishna. If there are any interruptions or inconsistencies or irregularities, then also it's not possible to understand Krishna. So, ahituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Then the heart is completely satisfied. Beyond this satisfaction, satisfaction of selfless service to Krishna, even Krishna does not have anything to give us. So, ultimate satisfaction of the heart is possible only when one renders service to Krishna without any motivations and without any interruptions, and that is the culmination of Bhagavad Gita. At the end of Gita, this is what Krishna is trying to tell us. Mamekam sharanam vraja, take my shelter only. The focus is not on giving up dharma, but raising the standard of dharma by sincerely taking shelter of Krishna. There are so many dharmas, as we discussed in the beginning, but all these dharmas have a beginning, have an end. They keep changing according to time, place, circumstances. But the ultimate dharma of rendering service to Krishna, loving Krishna, will never change. Life after life. That's why Mahaprabhu says, Naham vipro na chanarapatir napi vaishyo na shudro Naham varni na chagrahapatir no vanastho yatirva Kintu prodyan nikhila paramananda purnamrutabdher Gopi bhartu padakamalyor dasa dasa anudasaha. I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya, I am not a Shudra. I am not a Brahmachari, I am not a Grihastha, I am not a Vanaprastha, I am not a Sannyasi. We are all servants of the servants of the servants of the master of all the gopis, that is Krishna. And that is the ultimate spiritual identity. And in that spiritual identity, what is our activity? What is our dharma? To do Sravanam Kirtanam, to render devotional service to Krishna, right? So Krishna, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, is not trying to bewilder us by saying, Sarva-dharmān parityajya. He is trying to tell us, please folk, understand what your ultimate dharma is. Your ultimate dharma is the second line, Mamekam sharanam vraja. Taking shelter of Krishna is the ultimate dharma. Other dharmas you do the needful. And all the execution of all the other dharmas should be subservient to this ultimate dharma of surrendering to Krishna. Ataha pumbhirdvija sreshtha varnashrama vibhagashaha swanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Another dharma shloka. We are discussing all these shlokas where dharma is there. Swanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Haritoshanam, satisfying Lord Hari, is our ultimate dharma. By following the rules and regulations and protocols and policies of all the other dharmas, varna dharma, ashrama dharma, we need to come to this stage of pleasing Krishna, pleasing Lord Hari. So bhakti is not just doing Sravanam and Kirtanam. Bhakti is not just doing various physical activities or mental activities. Bhakti is to please Krishna. Bhakti is samsiddhir haritoshanam. Do the needful to please Krishna. Sometimes pleasing Krishna means to come out of our comfort zone and do something against our desire for Krishna's pleasure, for Guru's pleasure. But sometimes the pleasing Krishna could also mean just worshipping, offering some arti. So according to the time, place and circumstances, we need to do the needful to please Krishna. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. If that intent is there, then all the other dharmas that we are following, varna dharma, ashrama dharma, kutumba dharma, samanya dharma, udyoga dharma, dana dharma, raja dharma, all these are justified. If that samsiddhir haritoshanam is kept aside and just and one is sincerely following the external duties, then it takes us nowhere. And Bhagavatam strictly even describes that Shrama eva hi kevalam. Right? It is only Shrama eva hi kevalam. Of course, we value and we respect those who are sincerely doing whatever they are supposed to be doing in a particular role and responsibility. That sincerity is very good. That's a very conducive mood to adopt this ultimate dharma in one sense. However, ultimately, pleasing Krishna is the ultimate dharma of every single living being. Samsiddhara ritoshana. Jivera swarupahe Krishnera nitya das. Acting in accordance with what is favorable to Krishna's desires. That is called Bhagavat Anukula Shila. Bhagavat Pratikula Shila means having a disposition, having a conduct, having a mentality, having a behavior which is unfavorable to Krishna. That is Bhagavat Pratikula Shila. Bhagavat Anukula Shila means having a disposition or a mentality which is in line with Krishna's expectations, which are communicated to us through Krishna's representatives, spiritual master and Vaishnavas. They are representatives of Krishna, and aligning our activities with their will is the dharma, is the way of practicing dharma to come to the ultimate understanding of dharma. Sarva-dharmān parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. So in this ultimate instruction of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is inspiring Arjuna to align his will with Krishna's will. Sometimes people may think, oh, Arjuna forgot that he is a Kshatriya. By teaching Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reminded that Arjuna is a Kshatriya. And at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna understood, I am a Kshatriya, let me fight now. No. What Arjuna did is not just Kshatriya dharma in the battle of Kurukshetra. It is called Bhagavata dharma. It is Bhakti dharma. It is the ultimate dharma, Paro dharma. Krishna descended on this planet for what? 3 reasons. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya. He descended on the planet to protect the righteous, to punish the vicious, and to establish dharma. He personally does these 3 activities in his pastimes, and sometimes or many times Krishna empowers his devotees also to perform these 3 activities. So Arjuna also is supposed to do paritranaya sadhunam. Even Arjuna should do vinashaya cha dushkrutam. Even Arjuna should do dharma samsthapanarthaya. As an assistant of Krishna, as a servant of Krishna, as a representative of Krishna, not a replacement for Krishna. Oh, Krishna is supposed to do paritranaya sadhanam, Arjuna is also supposed to do paritranaya sadhanam. Means both are same? No, there is a similarity in their purpose, but Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Arjuna is the devotee. As a devotee, Arjuna is supposed to fulfill the instructions of Krishna. As a devotee of Krishna, Arjuna is supposed to align his will with Krishna's will in the mode of a servant, in the mode of a representative. Oh, Krishna expects me to do this vinashaya cha dushkrutam now. So far he has done. Now he took the role of a chariot driver. He wants us to do. Right? So he was doing paritranaya sadhanam till now. Now he said, I will not touch a weapon. Let me do paritranaya sadhanam now. Under his authorization, as his representative, as his servant, as his devotee. This is the dharma that Arjuna understood. When Krishna said, Sarva-dharmān parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, Arjuna took shelter of Krishna and executed the will and wish of Krishna. This is the ultimate concluding message of Bhagavad Gita. So let us identify ourselves as servants of Krishna, representatives of Krishna, and prioritize our relationship with Krishna, prioritize our service to Krishna and his representatives in comparison to all the other so-called dharmas that we have. That's the message of Gita here. Arjuna is the direct example. He kept aside his emotions, he kept aside his expectations, and he came to fulfill Krishna's wish. Oh, you want me to fight? I'll fight. With my grandfather, I'll fight. With my teacher, I'll fight. With my brothers and cousins, I'll fight. Like, you see, the Dvija Patnis. As Patnis of these Brahmanas, they're supposed to follow the instructions of their husbands. And the husbands are, traditionally, the husbands are into karmakandic sacrifices. And they did not even bother to give any charity to Krishna's friends, the Gopas. But these Dvija Patnis, Brahmana Patnis, did not follow the example of their husbands. When the boys came to these ladies, they gave charity to this boy. Not only giving charity, they personally took all these eatables and they accompanied the boys and went all the way to the forest to meet Krishna and offer everything to Krishna. Can you just imagine? They abandoned their karmakandic husbands to take shelter of Krishna. And of course, Krishna later said, please go back. I'll change their minds. They will accept you. Don't worry. And we have the example of Rukmini Devi. Her father, Bhishmaka, arranged her marriage with Shishupal. He is not personally excited with getting his daughter Rukmini marrying Shishupal, but Rukmi, her brother, is pushing the father also, Bhishmaka also. Somehow, her older brother and father are making arrangements for her marriage with Shishupal. But she wrote a letter to Krishna. Shatva gunan bhavana sundara shanvatam te nirvishta karna vivarair haratam gatapam. So she wrote a letter, Rukmini's love letter to Krishna, and this Brahmana went and gave it to Krishna, and Krishna personally came and kidnapped Mother Rukmini and married her in Dwaraka. She crossed that boundary of obedience to her father, her brother, elder brother, right? And she boldly surrendered to Krishna. She took shelter of Krishna, just like the Dvijapatnis also did. Similarly, we have the example of Prahlad Maharaj. His father, who is the king of all the three worlds, is ordering that you should give up Hari Bhakti. You should chant Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu's name, not Hari Hari. But he did not listen only. He never disrespected Hiranyakashipu, but he never cooperated with the philosophy of Hiranyakashipu. He never agreed with Hiranyakashipu. He disagreed without disrespect, and he continued his Hari Bhakti. Right? So we have seen so many personalities in our scriptures. Ordinarily, they are expected to do something according to external dharmas. A son is supposed to be obedient to the father, right? That's a Vedic culture. But this son, Prahlad, is not obedient to his father at all. Respectful, but he's in his own world. He has his own priorities. He has his own preferences in life. Not accepting the instructions of his father, right? Because for him, his dharma to Krishna is a priority more than his dharma to his father, right? Similarly, for Arjuna, his dharma towards Krishna is his priority in comparison to his kutumba dharma, in comparison to his emotional bonding with his relatives, with his grandfather, with his cousins, with his family members, right? Even if they're family members, if they stand against dharma, I must oppose them. Because Krishna is the supreme personality of dharma and is guiding me to fight against my own relatives, let me do it. The gopis, ultimate surrender. Pati sutanvayat bhratar bandhava ativilanghyati achyutagata gativirastavo udgita mohita kitavayoshitaha kastyaje nishi. They have given up everything, all their brothers and husbands and everything, and they came to take shelter of Krishna. So, of course, these are all very extreme examples. For example, Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj has given up his dharma of following the instruction of his guru only. Because guru is instructing him not to surrender to Krishna. Right? Therefore, Bali Maharaj has given up Shukracharya and took shelter of Vamanadev. So many examples, extreme examples are presented in Srimad Bhagavatam, where many people compromised on their external dharmas, external secondary dharmas, and prioritized taking shelter of Krishna. Mamekam sharanam raja. Therefore Krishna says, Sarva-dharmān parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. I am your priority. Mam ekam. Eka. Number one is me. Others are number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So if others come above Krishna, then we are not following the ultimate instruction of Bhagavad Gita. So what needs to be prioritized is surrender to Krishna, right? And that surrender to Krishna, how is it practiced? Now we saw some very extreme examples from Bhagavatam, Bali Maharaj, the gopis, Rukmini Devi, Brahmana Patnis, Arjuna, Prahlad Maharaj, very, very exalted and elevated examples. But how do we practice this principle of sharanagati? Principle of Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Prabhupada quotes 6 symptoms of surrender from Hari Bhakti Vilas. This is very practical for us. First, Anukulyasya sankalpam pratikulasya varjanam rakshishyatiti vishvaso goptrutve varanam tatha. Anukulyasya sankalpam. First, adopt whatever is favorable to devotional service. As a part of devotional service, we do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, right? So whatever is favorable for our practice of bhakti, let's adopt them. Second point, second aspect of surrender is, second symptom of sharanagati is pratikulyasya varjanam. Whatever is unfavorable, let's avoid it. Let's reject it. Then rakshishyatiti vishvaso. Please have firm faith that Krishna will protect us. Krishna is our ultimate protector. He is our master. He is the supreme protector. When every single force in the entire creation fails to protect us, Krishna is there to protect us. The other day we were discussing Gajendra's prayers. Madrik prapanna pashupasha vimokshanaya. Krishna is the ultimate protector because he has the capacity to protect us. He has the compassion to protect us. And is cognizant, is aware of what's happening with us. He knows exactly our moods, our needs, and our deeds, and he can offer protection. This is this faith in Krishna's protection is another symptom of surrender. First, anukulyasya sankalpam. Second, pratikulyasya varjanam. Adopting whatever is favorable to bhakti, avoiding whatever is unfavorable to bhakti, and having firm faith that Krishna is our protector. Rakshishyatiti vishvaso. Goptrutve varanam tatha. This is also similar to the third symptom. Means having complete faith that Krishna is our protector and I have no other protector. No one else can protect me like Krishna. Atmanikshepa karpanye. Atmanikshepa means I am incapable of doing anything. The other day, one of our senior devotees was quoting His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj and defining what is humility. What is humility? I was nothing, I am nothing, I will be nothing, and Krishna is everything. That is the definition of humility. To always be in this mode is exhibiting the mode of humility. Atmanikshepa karpanya means I am not having the capacity to protect myself. Karpanya, I am so fallen, I am so lowly, I am not qualified to do anything. I am not better than anyone else in the entire creation. So that kind of mood is humility. That's another symptom of sharanagati. In short, adopting whatever is favorable for bhakti, avoiding whatever is unfavorable for bhakti, and having firm faith that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and maintaining a humble disposition, tranadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna, that is the way of practicing sharanagati. Mamekam sharanam vraja. How do we implement this principle at our level? Following these things. Whatever is favorable for our sadhana, let's accept it. Whatever is unfavorable, let's reject that. Right? Let's not reject based on vairagya. Let's reject based on bhakti. The intent of rejection should not, the inspiration for rejection is not vairagya. The inspiration for rejection is bhakti. What's the difference? Vairagya is detachment and bhakti is devotion. Sometimes a devotee may accept something which a traditional sadhu may feel that we should not accept it. A devotee may accept this if it is favorable to bhakti. There are 4 types of vairagyas. All of us know. One is smashana vairagya. Somebody goes to smashan. Somebody goes to a crematorium. He sees a dead body being burnt. And he understands this person is so accomplished. He has done so many things in life. And now his body is being burnt to ashes here. What's the point of acquiring so much in my life? What's the point of accomplishing many things in my life? Ultimately, my body also will be burned there. So there's some feeling of vairagya that appears in the heart of someone who just visited crematorium. But as soon as they come out of the crematorium, they take a bath, all that vairagya is washed away. That is called smashana vairagya. They are detached from the detached spirit, which momentarily appeared in their mind when they were in crematorium, right? That is Smashana Vairagya. Second is Falgu Vairagya, useless renunciation. Third is Markata Vairagya, monkey renunciation. Monkey renunciation means apparently monkey is very renounced, eating vegetarian food, not even wearing clothes, living on trees, living in forest, no permanent residence, moving here and there, eating whatever is available. But very committed to sense gratification multiple times in a day. That is called Markata Vairagya. Then Falgu Vairagya is Prapanchikataya Buddhya Hari Sambandhi Vastunaha Mumukshubhir Parityago Vairagyam Falgu Kathyate. Thinking that things are material, a devotee, a person gives up attachment to those things. Although those things can be utilized in Krishna consciousness. Hari Sambandhi Vastunaha. They are vastus, they are objects that can be effectively utilized in Krishna's seva. Right? But still, by prioritizing detachment, Vairagya, this person gives them up. That can be utilized in Krishna service. No, I am not attached to it. I don't want it. Wealth, you can use it in Krishna service. No, I will not touch money. So whatever may be the opulence, wealth or fame or whatever, devotee utilizes all of them in Krishna service. That is called Yukta Vairagya. Opposite to that is Falgu Vairagya. So out of these 4 Vairagyas, first 3 we don't want to accept. Markata Vairagya, Smashana Vairagya, Falgu Vairagya. But last one, which is Yukta Vairagya, is favorable to bhakti. When you said Anukulyasya Sankalpam Pratikulyasya Varjanam, apparently an object may seem pratikul to bhakti, but a devotee who has great vision, who has great devotion to Krishna can understand, oh, this is not useless, this can be utilized in Krishna service. Let me adopt it. Right? That is Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. That's a symptom of surrender. Right? Trying to find ways and means to serve Krishna in the best possible way. Sometimes they may be a little innovative or unconventional ways also. One has to protect oneself from distractions. At the same time, one should not miss opportunities and chances to utilize everything in Krishna's service as much as humanly possible, according to one's bandwidth. Of course, under the guidance of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Right? This is Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. And if we do so, in the last 3 minutes, we'll discuss the last 2 lines of the shloka. We discussed the first 2 lines of the shloka for 50 minutes. Last 2 lines. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Ma shuchaha. Don't worry. I will relieve you from all sinful reactions. Krishna says. But by sincerely taking shelter of Krishna, the result is not just relief from sinful reactions. The result is Krishna Prema. Result is deep satisfaction of heart. We discussed, right? Sarva-dharmān, savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. That suprasidati, atma suprasidati, complete satisfaction of the heart is the ultimate result of Krishna bhakti, surrendering to Krishna. Will be completely satisfied. Heart is completely satisfied. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. When we endeavor to satisfy Krishna by engaging our senses in Krishna's service, that is the way of satisfying ourselves. We cannot satisfy ourselves in any other material ways. We need to satisfy ourselves in this prescribed spiritual way of trying to satisfy Krishna. Right? That is the purport of Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. And just relief from sinful reactions is just a byproduct. It will automatically happen. As Kunti Mata says, Bhavesmin klishya mananam avidya kama karma bhi shravana smaranarhani karishyan iti kechana. Why people are suffering in this world? Avidya, ignorance. Because of avidya, there is kama, material desire. Because of kama, there is karma, material action. And because of karma, there is klesha, material reaction, which is in the form of suffering for sinful activities. When Krishna said, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami, he is promising that I will relieve you from all sinful reactions by relieving you from sinful actions. And by relieving you from sinful desires that prompt you to perform sinful actions. And by relieving you from ignorance that prompts material desires in you. You see, there is a root. Sinful reaction in the form of suffering is a product of sinful action. And sinful action is a product of sinful desire. And sinful desire is a product of ignorance. And by taking shelter of Krishna, ignorance is destroyed. When ignorance is destroyed, ignorance means ignorance of our spiritual identity, ignorance of our original spiritual position as servants of Krishna. When you take shelter of Krishna, you are identifying yourself as servant of Krishna. So when you identify yourself as a servant of Krishna, your desires will be spiritual, your actions will be spiritual, the reactions will be spiritual. But when we identify ourselves other than servants of Krishna, something other than servants of Krishna, our desires will be sinful, actions will be sinful, reactions will be sinful. When Krishna said, I will protect you from sinful reactions, He is protecting us from sinful actions. He is protecting us from sinful desires. He is protecting us from ignorance of our spiritual identity. So, that's why Kunti Maharani says, Avidya kama karma bhi shravana smaranarhani karishyan iti kesana. Shravana and smarana and arhana. Shravana means hearing about Krishna. Smarana is remembering Krishna. Arhana means worshipping Krishna. All these are aspects of bhakti. By taking shelter of the process of bhakti, we transcend all sinful reactions and actions and desires. That's a perspective of Sarva-dharmān parityajya, the concluding sloka of Bhagavad Gita. So with this, we'll conclude. Happy Gita Jayanti. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments? Okay. Hare Krishna.
Today evening at 4 p.m. we'll be reciting Bhagavad Gita, all 18 chapters in the Lalita Bhavan. Please join us.